Yo, 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 this is Dorky Diggity Dave, and today we review Suicide Squad. Welcome back, guys. It has been a long time since I've done a movie review, and this one is for Suicide Squad. This is the third entry in the DC Extended Universe, which means that it's connected to the same world as Man of Steel and Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, and this is the next entry. Now, if you were expecting hot garbage, you'll probably be disappointed. If you were expecting hot goodness, you're also going to be disappointed. However, if you were expecting to just come in and eat popcorn and not think for a couple hours, then this might be right up your alley. Check it out. Okay. Well, first thing is, the movie is entertaining. It's not going to leave you bored. It's a watchable movie. The thing is, it depends on who you are. I'm hearing a lot of stuff that the movie was made for fans, and things like that. I get that. But you've got Will Smith in this movie, and Will Smith is both great and not great. And the reason why I say that is he's great because it feels like they hired Deadshot to play Will Smith and did a fantastic job at doing that, as opposed to Will Smith playing Deadshot, which I don't quite find that parallel quite as satisfying from what I know the character to be. However, if you don't know who the character is and you don't care who the character is, then yes, Will Smith is very entertaining. He brings in the comedy, he brings in the gravitas and all that kind of stuff, and it works. Highlight for me is Harley. Harley is really great. If you love Batman the Animated Series, she will blow your mind as Harley Quinn. Great job there, except for this one part where I'm pretty sure it was a reshoot or something like that, and they tried to give her her moment, and it felt very forced. So aside from that, really great. Diablo actually was a surprise for me because Diablo was probably the most interesting character. I just wish they did more with him. The rest of the characters kind of felt like they were in the background. Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang. Actually, Jai Courtney doesn't suck as much as everybody says he does, but in this movie he was good. He just didn't really make a lot of sense here as to why you needed him and how fighting with boomerangs was pretty ridiculous, actually, when you think about it. But he was there. Now, there are some awesome cameos. I stayed away from trailers and TV spots and all that kind of stuff, and if you did that, you'll be very surprised at some of the things that they did in the film. It, again, is an entertaining film. It's easy to watch, but it's not very memorable to me. I did like what Jared Leto was doing with the Joker. I just don't think he had enough time, and we'll get to that in some of the other aspects when we move on to the other section of the review. So, as a film is entertaining, that's one thing, but is it a good film? Well, it's not a bad film, it's not a great film, it's a film that just kind of exists, and it doesn't make me want to go out and recommend it to all my friends that they go see it right away, and for me that's a problem, especially with huge tentpole movies like this, where, you know, they're superhero-based movies, they're big action movies, big budget. This is the kind of movie you're supposed to see, be blown away, and go tell everyone you can to go see it right away. I did not get that feeling by the time I left the theater. And some of my disappointments, I'm not going to list them all, but some of my main disappointments is, one, yet again, a beam in the sky, CGI vomit everywhere. It just didn't happen in the third act, it happened somewhere in the second act. The villain is all over the place, if it's even a villain. It's like a really weird, obscure story with that whole thing. So, Enchantress, my problem with Enchantress was not so much that she was the villain, hope that's not a spoiler, but her movements bothered me. It took me out of the film, and I would have loved if they did like this kind of cut edit with her movements like they did in like the Ring, or, you know, movies like that. Because what ends up happening is that she's doing like this hula dance thing with, like, you know, looking like Shakira and all that kind of stuff, and it was weird. It took me out of the seriousness of the film. I wanted to laugh at a couple moments, which probably wasn't intended, but it was weird, and I hope they fix that in any future installments, because that would be an awesome effect for this character. And there is an actual pretty awesome moment for her in terms of when she first transforms and stuff like that. At least I thought so. Now, while the characters had a lot of chemistry going on, some of the stories that were happening and some of the moments that they created didn't really have the payoff that I was expecting anyway, because it didn't feel like it had a proper build-up. The movie does feel rushed. It feels like it doesn't know exactly what it wants to be, it doesn't know the tone that it wants to set, and while there was a lot of cool music in there, a lot of that music took me out of the film experience because it felt tacked on. It felt like a big music video, and I was disappointed with the Joker. Even though Leto played a great Joker, there wasn't enough to make me care about why this Joker was even around. And it looked like they cut out a bunch of scenes. There were some scenes that I remember seeing in the first trailer, which was the only trailer I watched, by the way, and a lot of that stuff wasn't there. So it looks like they cut a bunch of stuff out, and I really want to see more of what he has to offer, because I don't think he was given a fair shake in this movie. And on top of that, the motivations are kind of odd in the movie. There's not a lot of cohesiveness. The editing is all over the place, and again, an entertaining movie, but it's not enough to make it great. And that's disappointing because DC really needs a win here, and they are just kind of coasting along on this very mediocre movie track. And my opinion is, I think all of the DC movies need at least another year. They need another year to sit down and really flesh out the story, flesh out the script, make sure that this stuff makes sense, but they're not doing that. After Batman v Superman, I was not really excited to see this movie. I had a lot of excitement beforehand, but I didn't this time. But I did have hope. I had hope that it would be a great movie and prove me wrong and all that kind of stuff, but yet again, it wasn't. So with that being said, moving on to the next thing. The people that I went to see it with, they were entertained. They would possibly see it again. Me personally, I'm not sure I care to see it again. Not in a bad way, but I saw it. I saw what it had to offer. I may see it again, maybe just to see if I saw what I saw, and I'll just leave it at that. I'm gonna go with a 3 out of 5 on this one. Again, like I said, it's not a terrible film. It's not a great film. It's just a film that kind of exists that could have been so much better, and it's disappointing to see that, especially knowing that a lot of this stuff was rushed and, you know, reshot and recut together, and I'm sure they just cobbled everything together at the last minute, and that's a shame. So hopefully the DCEU can get on track and, you know, deliver something that is memorable and recommendable. Is that a word? Recommendable? I think so. Because I would love to watch these characters on the big screen and be proud and be happy and just be in awe when I'm watching it, without having to make concessions about what was made for fans and what wasn't, and what critic understood and didn't understand it. That is hogwash for the most part. So anyway, once again, this is Dorky Diggity Dave. You just watched a review for Suicide Squad. I hope you liked the video, and if you did, go ahead and click subscribe, click like, leave a comment, share it with your friends, share it with your mama. All that stuff helps me out. And remember, stay dorky, and I'll catch y'all on the flip.